said, "The sheep that belong to me listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life. They will never be lost, and no one will ever steal them from me. The Father who gave them to me is greater than anyone, and no one can steal from the Father. The Father and I are one." The Gospel of the Lord.
This is almost certainly the most appropriate Sunday in the year I could have chosen, or have been chosen, to preach to you on. Because on this fourth Sunday of Easter, the Church keeps Good Shepherd Sunday, and the theme that runs through all our readings is the theme of vocation. And it's enormous joy and privilege for me to be here celebrating this Mass with you, because although Gregorian vocations are rather thin on the ground at the moment, they are none the less necessary for that. In today's rather urbanized world and rather relativized world, the concept of a shepherd looking after his sheep is not necessarily that easy to grasp unless you're a hill farmer. And I don't expect many of us are that. And especially not when you consider that first century Palestinian shepherds didn't actually walk behind their sheep, they walked in front of their sheep. And that's an important point, because the shepherd is a leader. And all of us today here have the potential to be, or are already, leaders. The experiences and skills that each of you in the school are acquiring marks you out for leadership, whether you realize it at this point or not. But it goes deeper, much deeper than just leadership. Some of you, I hope, will be going to Lourdes this summer with the OMV, or perhaps in a few summers' time. At its heart, that Lourdes pilgrimage is about service to those around us, and I will return to this later. In our first reading, Paul and Barnabas are spreading the good news, the gospel message, and the style of the account here has an element of compulsion. There's an energy and passion to share the gospel. We who are hearers of the word of God must share it. "I have made you a light for the nations, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth." How so? By our way of living, by our way of loving even. It's our vocation as baptized Christians. And nowadays vocation tends to cover not only priesthood and religious life, but also marriage and the single life as well, or the consecrated life. And that's as it should be, because we all share in the common priesthood by virtue of our baptism. We are anointed as priest, prophet, and king. And Easter is a very appropriate time, Eastertide, to reflect on this. And how do we do this? How do we become more Christ-like? By regular prayer and growing friendship and relationship with Christ through a regular sacramental life. But today the Church asks us to consider in particular priestly, and appropriately in this Benedictine setting, monastic life as well. Indeed, in his encyclical Laudato Si on our roles as stewards of God's created world, which we are, Pope Francis implicitly suggests monastic life, with its emphasis on community, stewardship and sharing, is the highest form of Christian living. And as a Benedictine-educated secular priest, I can certainly attest to the fact that these attributes are extremely transferable, not only into parish life, but into family life and professional life too. And if I could sum up in 3 words what these Benedictine attributes are, I would suggest order, stability, and balance. And of these, balance is, I think, the key one, because it is vital in this world that we have a balanced approach to things. Another vital part of vocation is service. Service to God and of God through prayer and action, and similarly to those around us. And those of us who have been to Lourdes, and after 35 or more pilgrimages, I suppose we could say I'm a bit of a groupie there, we know that in serving the malade we take with us, literally often doing everything for them, we receive so much more than we give. It is salutary and humbling to see the joy and the serenity expressed in the faces of those whom we serve. They give me so much. In our second reading, we get a glimpse of the heavenly liturgy, of which this is a foretaste. The people around the throne are those who have served and followed our Lord in this life. And the final phrase puts it so beautifully. The Lamb will lead them to springs of living water, and God will wipe away all tears from their eyes. And that's the promise of our baptism, strengthened through Holy Communion and confirmed in confirmation. And Holy Communion, the Eucharist, is the source and summit of our daily life. That's our vocation too. It's no accident that one of the Pope's titles is Servant of the Servants of Christ. Because at its heart, I suggest, priestly vocation is precisely about service. It's a good life, a life of opportunity to be of service to others and to become the person God knows I have the potential to be. And if I may be personal just for a moment, these past nearly 11 months of priesthood have been far better, far more real than I could have ever hoped for. It's a privilege to offer the Holy Sacrifice at the Mass, of course, but it's also a privilege to accompany people, particularly in the sacraments of confession and anointing of the sick. I have seen great things happen in the most ordinary of circumstances, and it is a deeply privileged moment. Ultimately, Jesus is the one high priest, and all our priesthood stems from him and finds its reasoning in him. He is the one constant. If we follow him, we will receive eternal life. And as I stand here now, I think of the countless times and the countless hours I've spent in this Abbey church over the years. Nearly 30 years ago I first came to Downside, and that's a long time. But at its heart, Downside is part of my vocation, and this for me is a real homecoming. I hope it will be a part of your vocation too, because it is a special place. Have the courage to be yourselves and listen as the moment says with the ear of the heart each day to what God is asking you to do and to be. And he will give you the key to eternal life. Amen.